That's my backyard. My camper's right here. This is Sunrise Valley RV Park in Mena, Nevada. And this is the middle of the desert. This post is going to be at rvacrossamerica.net/desert. My name is Alan. I'm with rvacrossamerica.net. I'm your friendly full-timer host that's been doing this for 9 years. And I'm in the middle of the desert, and it's amazing. It's October 5th. It's in the morning. Sun's over here, and it's getting hot already. And you can see a lot of smoke in the background. Thank you, California. Forest management, anyone? I've spent the last 3 days here, and I've visited 4 ghost towns, and I'm going to visit one more this morning on my way out of the immediate area, but I'm still going to be in the desert when I head over to a town named Tonopah. This area is fascinating to me. Bone dry. The ghost towns are tied in with mines. The mines are mostly gold. Really silver and gold, but because gold has so much more value and has had so much more value for many years, these mines are primarily considered gold mines. I had the opportunity to go to a state recreation area yesterday where there's a ghost town called Berlin. There's another one right down the road called Ione, and both have interesting stories behind them. And you'll be seeing bits and pieces of video after this that will introduce you to those areas, along with an extensive slideshow over at rvacrossamerica.net/desert. These towns popped up generally in the 19th century. They collapsed generally in the beginning of the 20th century, although Berlin is unique because it's in a state of preservation from when they took it over. The state took it over. So the buildings are preserved and barring a forest fire, and that's something else important to note. This region is one forest fire away from losing all this history because it was about 65 miles from here, and I'm in the middle of nowhere here in Mineral County, to get over to Berlin and Ione yesterday. Berlin is at least somewhat protected because it's a state recreation area and they've kind of committed to preserving the history, but Ione, no. Ione is interesting because it's a mine that collapsed in the 1980s. So this is a community that still has, they've got a big placard up saying 41 residents. I didn't count them. And there clearly were people living out there. And frankly, with the price of gold going up and silver going up, it's entirely possible, and I checked it with some of the locals, that they may revive some of these mines. I went over to Candelaria the first day, which is about an hour off to the southwest, and a town called Marietta, even more remote than Candelaria, with much more coming up on that. Again, rvacrossamerica.net/desert. These towns are in various states of ruin. However, one of the fellows staying in this park told me he was in Candelaria a few days ago, or recently, within the last couple of months, and they were testing the area to see if there are some areas that they want to consider drilling. Because again, silver is now, as I make this video, in the mid-20s. Gold is up just short of $2,000 per ounce. And if they see a significant jump in those prices, that's going to make those areas attractive again. Now, I don't expect towns to pop up because, frankly, from here in Mena, which is kind of a hurting town, I mean, I'll again share details with you when you see it further into the video, or I'll probably end up with several videos. Otherwise, this thing is going to be like 45 minutes long. Mena is hurting. And there's another town just north of here. Don't remember the name. It'll be in the video. But this other town just north here is really hurting. In fact, it's on the ghost town registry. It's listed as a ghost town, right on the highway too. And this is Route 95. No relation to the I-95 on the East Coast, but it is a U.S. highway. And this highway is a major connector between Reno, Winnemucca, Fallon, Elko, and Boise to the north, Boise, Idaho, south to Las Vegas. So if you're looking to drive from up there to down to Vegas, you're going to go down 95. And these towns, I think with a little bit of TLC, a little bit of help, and a little innovation and motivation, could put themselves on the map as way stations as people travel through. For example, where I am right now, it's 70 miles to get fuel to the south and 30 miles to get fuel to the north. So when you leave the town of Hawthorne, it's 100 miles until you're down in Tonopah to get fuel. If you're pulling a camper, that's a big deal. And I was told by the campground owner here, by the way, it's a great campground, it's a desert campground, full hookups. She's not cheap, but it's a great place, very safe, very convenient, highly recommended. And again, in Mina, M-I-N-A, it's the only campground in Mina, Sunrise Valley. So she told me that down in Coaldale, which is another ghost town, that's the one I'm going to go visit a little later on this morning, about 30 miles south. Interesting story behind that, I'll tell you in a second. But when it became a ghost town, that was the end of fuel between these 2 points. And then there was a earthquake, which forced the DOT to reroute people, so it wasn't 100 miles from gas station to gas station, it was 150. And again, depending on what you're pulling and depending on the capacity of your vehicle to hold fuel, 150 miles could be kind of scary. I mean, in my case, I had enough to get down here, go out in that direction towards Candelaria and the other ghost town in that direction, and then the next day head over towards Berlin and Ione, and then still get to Hawthorne, 30 miles from here, get fuel, and come back. So these are things you have to think about when you're in the desert because it's very limited resources. Coaldale, I'll tell you more about in an upcoming segment, probably a separate video. So again, this doesn't get too long. Bottom line, it's on its way to 90 degrees today. I'm on my way to Tonopah after 3 days. And again, it's a dry lake bed out there. Then you've got the mountains. The mountains get, the pass was 7,000 feet. The mountains, I'm sure, go to 9,000 feet. But it's still hot and it's still dry. This is Nevada. It is what it is, but it's really fascinating. It really is. And again, these ghost towns are phenomenal, especially the two that I saw yesterday that more recently became a ghost town, kind of, Ione, and Berlin, which has been preserved. Again, amazing stuff there and a lot of photos. It's going to go into the form of a slideshow, otherwise my post would be 5 miles long. Anyway, Alan here, rvacrossamerica.net and /desert, rvacrossamerica.net /desert. You have a great morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're seeing this, and I'll step out of the side and enjoy this.